Who among us hasn't heard the famous phrase, "He went and never returned"? Cases of sudden and unannounced disappearances are incredibly numerous. Some disappear forever, while others are found as corpses or just remains. The young American Sherita Williams is just one such example. But the question here is, how did she disappear and why was she killed? Before answering, let's get to know her first. Sherita Williams was a 16-year-old girl in 2003, a well-known high school student. She lived with her parents, Wilma and Harry, and her siblings in Pennsauken, New Jersey. Sherita was a diligent and hardworking student, and it was said that she was excited to start researching colleges for her preferred field of study. She loved everyone and wanted to become a social worker to help people. In her free time, her hobby was going to the salon to beautify her nails, hair, and eyebrows. Perhaps that was the last memory she had before her tragedy. On November 28, 2003, Sherita Williams left home to go to the beauty salon around 5 p.m. with her close friend. The salon was about a 5-minute walk from her house. She told her family she would be back later, but she never returned home. Her mother, Wilma, assumed that Sherita had slept over at her friend's house, which had happened often before. However, by the next morning, she still hadn't come home. Wilma became worried and called Sherita's friend, only to be shocked when she learned that the two had never met at the salon. At that moment, Wilma realized something was wrong and that Sherita might be in danger. Wilma and her husband, Harry, drove around town looking for Sherita. They ended up near the railroad bridge on 36th Street to look around, as Sherita's friend had mentioned that Sherita was superstitious about that bridge and suggested they search there. After searching, Wilma saw what looked like a man lying on the gravel, naked and without a coat in the cold. She became suspicious and called the county prosecutor's office. Authorities arrived at the scene, and the victim under the bridge was identified as a teenage girl whose description matched Sherita Williams. Her wallet was found nearby, and her ID confirmed it was her. The girl was found lying face down in the dirt, her shirt open, and her hands tied behind her back. There were no visible injuries on her body except for strangulation marks, indicating she had been strangled to death. Sherita's underwear had been removed and found near her body, leaving red marks around her waist. The police believed the crime was sexually motivated, as semen stains were found on her unzipped jeans. At the crime scene, the police found a man's hair cap, a penny, and a purchase receipt. The receipt was for a black shirt dated November 28, 2003, with a time of 4:28 p.m. Investigators reviewed various surveillance footage to piece together what Sherita did on the night she disappeared. Surveillance video from a nail salon showed the girl adjusting her eyebrows at 6:05 p.m. Police records also indicated that she made a call to her boyfriend at around 6:30 p.m. using a payphone located a few blocks from his house. It was reported that his parents were home, and according to reports, his mother did not allow Sherita to stay overnight when she came to their house. However, after passing a lie detector test, her boyfriend was ruled out as a suspect. There were also no fingerprints on the purchase receipt, and unfortunately, the surveillance camera at the mall where the shirt was bought was not working on the night Sherita went missing. As for the semen sample that was found, investigators took DNA samples from Sherita's acquaintances, hoping for a match. Despite these extensive efforts, it seemed the case would turn cold with no new evidence emerging. But Sherita's father, Williams, did not give up. His burning concern for his daughter drove him to contact the investigators periodically, urging them to investigate further. In 2007, in a stroke of luck, the case was reopened when the police finally found a match for the semen sample found on the girl's pants. It belonged to a man who had been convicted on drug charges and whose DNA samples were entered into the national database. So, who was he? The accused was Warren Dixon, who was 23 years old at the time. During the interrogation, Dixon admitted that he knew Sherita from school when he transferred there in 2003. He also admitted to having a sexual relationship with her. Warren Dixon lived near the crime scene with his father and was the main suspect in the murder case of Sherita Williams. They had only moved to the town less than 3 months prior. During the initial interrogation with the police, he appeared very calm. Warren admitted to knowing Sherita, but said he had only heard about her murder on the news. In the middle of the interview, the police confronted him with the fact that his DNA was found at the crime scene. He then confessed to having sex with Sherita that night but denied killing her. In the second interrogation, the police tried to pressure him into confessing, and he seemed to give in under the pressure. He said that he attempted to initiate a relationship with Sharita, but she rejected him, so he killed her. He mentioned that he was walking home from the mall when he crossed paths with Sharita, who recognized him from school and stopped to chat with him. Warren Dixon was convicted of murder and rape in 2011 and was sentenced to 20 years in prison with the possibility of parole in 2026.